Hey y'all! Thanks for joining Clock In with Lynn. I have another wonderful, beautiful fly guest coming on in about 10 minutes, but I want you guys to put questions in the comment if there's something that you want me to ask these beautiful women that are in healthy, successful marriages. So put them in the comments. She's going to be on in probably the next 5 minutes. Oh, I'm so excited. Thanks to everyone that has subscribed to my YouTube channel. I told y'all the first 100 is going to be on my VIP special list, child. So y'all gonna get the first of everything. Gonna be in all the know of everything I'm coming up with, events, the single soiree, honey, all of that good stuff. So make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe, share, like, support your girl now. Support your girl. The girl needs your support, child. But but I'm having a good time. Again, please put your questions or anything that you want me to ask these women in these wonderful marriages, and I would happily do so. I know what I forgot to ask my other two guests, my friends, is how they deal with finances in the marriage. Like, who controls the money? Do you have two bank accounts? Is there one account for the household? So I do want to make sure that I ask that for uh, my next guest, because I just kind of want to see how everybody is doing with that. And also, just a heads up, next week, I am going to be talking to some wonderful men, some that have been in high profile relationships. I have one that is in a successful marriage as well. And I have a really good friend of mine that's coming on that have such good insight on men and women's relationships. So I'm excited about next week. That's going to start off the February, the love month, Black History Month. So I want to show these Black men some love next week. All in February probably, but yes, that's going to start next week. So make sure you tune in. I am going to start having a regular time. I'm trying to decide how I want to do that. I'm probably going to be mostly on YouTube until I can figure out how to use both platforms to stream at the same time. So give me some grace and be patient with your girl now, because y'all know I am tech challenged. I have said that over and over. So be patient with your girl, and we gonna work it out, okay? So how's everybody doing on this lovely, lovely Thursday evening? Let's chit chat. I want to make sure. I think we have everything. Oh, child, I'm learning how to do all this stuff. It's kind of exciting, child. I'm like, all right, then, Lynn, shit. Pat myself on the back, child. Pat myself on the back. Because I'm learning some of this little tech stuff now. My virtual assistant, child, he helping, child. But, I'm trying to figure out some of this stuff on my own. Hey, Stacey! Hey! Showing me some pink and green love. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. This next guest I will have, she is also a sorority sister. I've been having all my girls on, but the door is open for all of the D9 and all of everybody that is non-Greek, child. Because we got to talk to everybody and get everybody's perspective on this marriage thing, child. Now, we got to do it. I need to talk to everybody. Hit me up. DM me if you want to come on and talk. If you got something to talk about, honey. All right. So what's y'all's questions now? I know y'all got some questions. What is the question y'all want to ask? That's one that I said I forgot about the finances. Girl, we got to talk about the finances in the relationship now. How that play out. I know growing up, my mom, my dad gave her his check. I remember being in Dillard's one time, shopping with my father, and he saw some pants or something that he liked. I remember him going to the counter and asking them to use the phone, because I was probably in grade school, asking them, a salesperson, to use the phone to see. Like, he had to call my mom and ask her what size pants he wore, because she bought all the clothes. She did everything. She ran the household, paid the bills, made sure we was eating, made sure we had our clothes and stuff. So yeah, child, that's what I saw at a very young age. So I would love to know what is going on in other households. How is that working out? Y'all got separate accounts? Y'all got one joint account? Or how does that work? Okay. So, yes, I would like to know all of that. I know in my marriage, he pretty much took care of all of the finances. I think she's here. Okay, wait a minute. Let me make sure I do this right, child. I think Miss Vanessa is here, child. Yeah!
Oh, there I am.
How are you, Vanessa Barnett?
How are you? You're lit so well. I look a little grainy. Sorry.
No, you don't. You look cute, girl. I said, girl, yes, pop on here, child. I'm so glad that you took out this time to come on with Clock In with Lynn, child. So let's get to it. So introduce yourself. This is Vanessa, but I want you to just tell the people who you are, what you do, where you from, all that good stuff.
I'll give you the quick version. My name is Vanessa. I am originally from Michigan. Been out here for a number of years, since like 2007. I live with my husband and my 2 kids. I was a journalist for a very long time, and I am now a recent attorney. I'm an attorney now.
I love it. How long have you been married, Vanessa?
Woo! What's the year? Is it 2024? I got married in 2009. So it's 15 years coming up on 15 years. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Let's get to it, girl. How did you meet your husband?
I met my husband when I was like 11 or 12 years old. We met in middle school, 7th grade.
Okay.
I've known him longer. He's been in my life longer than he hasn't. You know what I mean? He's like always been there. Yeah, we were friends in middle school. We were kind of like boyfriend, girlfriend a little bit. And then a little more serious in high school, kind of dated for like a full year, I think. And then I left. I went to a different high school. We kind of lost touch. And I went to DC. He's in Michigan. And am I feedback? Oh no, I'm good. Yeah, and then we reconnected.
You say Howard?
Yes, I was like, AQ.
People to know, honey, she's a Howard.
Howard. Yeah, and then we have this thing in Flint. I'm from Flint, Michigan. So we have this thing where each year, like all the big schools, they have like prom. But we would go see people walk around like outside it was like a little parade, and we'd go see people get ready and walk in for prom. So I went to one of those after my freshman year at Howard, saw him, couldn't get to him, and told his friend, hey, yo, tell Shannon I'm in town, tell him to hit me up. He called my house phone. My mama answered, remembered him because I wasn't even home. And when I got home, she was like, oh my gosh, Shannon called. That's my husband's name, Shannon. He called. I didn't even know he knew your number still. And the rest is kind of history from that point on.
So when did you know Shannon was the one? When did you feel that, like, I know this man is my person?
Whew. I knew he had potential to be the one when he took our relationship really seriously out the gate. Like I said, I was living in DC, he was in Michigan. He said, like, this is real to me. I'm moving to DC. And so, yeah, it was just a few months maybe after we made it official. And so for me, it was like the loyalty, the commitment, the sacrifice. I could tell that he would be a good husband. And then as we grew, I could tell he'd be a good father. That was really important to me as well. But we definitely had our hiccups. My senior year, you know how it is, your senior year in college, you want to do you. And so that year we actually broke up for a little bit. He went back to Michigan. I stayed in DC, did my thing. But then after I graduated, we still had that connection and we kind of just knew. But I think, again, he made a huge sacrifice. When I moved to LA first in like February of 2007. And he was living in New Orleans at the time. He was working for FEMA. And so again, he was like, I want this for real. He came in August of that year, proposed like a week later. But he's always been someone that was very intentional. He made his thoughts known, and he never made me think if he was in it for the long haul, if he was serious. He never played games with me. And
beautiful.
I can't give you like the exact moment or day, but it was just a evolving feeling, I guess.
That's beautiful, beautiful. And that's so great that you said that, because I feel like today, sometimes when even in dating, you just don't know. And that's why I think I said on my live the other day, I was like, if you're confused in a relationship, then you're just in a wrong relationship, because you should not be confused. You should not know, do he like me? Are we together? And right. This feels so good that you're saying that he was intentional right out the gate. Yeah. And we just need more of that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So, what qualities do you think are the most important to have in a healthy relationship?
When I think of my husband, what stands out to me is his commitment to family. His mom had him when she was really young. She was 14, about to turn 15. But when I saw him with his mom, his uncles, his grandmother, family was everything to him. And he was so respectful of my family. Like, for my mom to be excited when he called or to remember him from junior high school, she just always had really positive things to say about him. And I saw those qualities in him too. But to know that everybody around me saw them as well, that was reaffirming, I guess I would say. Yeah.
Did he grow up with his father?
No.
Wow.
His grandfather played that father role, and his uncles aren't, like I said, his mom was pretty young, so his uncles were pretty young too. And he kind of like grew up with them. And so they've been integral in his life. And then his mom eventually married, and his stepdad was in his life, but it was really his grandfather. And I think we connected on that as well, because I'm super close to my grandfather. And unfortunately, his grandfather passed. But just the connection to family. And like I said, just the loyalty. I never had to question
come on, but
what he was up to, He was always where he said he was going to be. Even to this day, like, he just got off of work at 4:30. He texts me headed home. Like, I don't have to question, like, what's going on? Where are you? Why haven't you done this? Da-da-da. He's a man of his word. And that was really important too.
That is beautiful. No, child. They out there somewhere.
They are, but it's so funny, because if you ask my friends, they'll tell you I don't really talk about my marriage a lot. I never give relationship advice. And when we got married, his grandmother told me a best piece of advice I've ever gotten. She said, keep people out of your marriage.
Got it.
And it's not that we don't share about our love. It's not that we are like, I share them on, Instagram. It's not a secret,
Right.
but I've never walked around as if I have some sort of secret recipe or I know all that it is to know. And when we have had difficult times, like I can talk to my best friends and say, yeah, it's kind of a rough time right now, but I will never divulge like our
Mm.
deepest, darkest conversations or, I think there's a certain level of, not just privacy, but respect that you have to have for that union. And I think I've seen nowadays where people like to talk too much about their relationships online.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been that friend that heard my friend talk negatively about a relationship, but then, stay in it. And it's hard to forget the negative stuff she's told me,
Right.
even though I can see she's happy. So,
Yeah, because you're like, I don't love him like you love him. I
right.
know what he did to you. So yes, that is so important. And I remember Oprah told Beyonce that. Keep folks out the business. I remember it. And when Oprah told her that, girl, she zipped her mouth.
She did. I mean, I wouldn't even make a lemonade though. I was very surprised by that. I was like, oh, she's telling all the tea.
But she could be like, you just doing music shit. People just assuming. So,
right, you're right.
She's an entertainer, so she can be like, y'all can think what y'all want, but I might just,
I'm cashing the check.
It's great. I love it. I love it. So I have my ABC rule where A, that you got to be attracted to that person. B, for balance. C, communication and connection. What is balance for you? How do you be a great wife and make sure that you're not losing yourself and you're still, Vanessa is still showing up? So, like that balance. What advice can you give to single women that are considering being in a marriage of how can they keep that balance?
Yeah. I think I've gone through different seasons in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's okay not to have balance sometimes. Like when I first got married, it was really important for me to just create that foundation of our marriage. And so I didn't necessarily go out as much as I used to, or I didn't move the same way because I wasn't the same. And I married really young. And so I always say you can either grow together or grow apart. And, thank God we've grown together. But, I was 25. I would never even advise my daughter to get married at 25. So, but yeah. And then again, when I had my first child, I poured a lot into being a great mother and figuring out what that looked like for me. But then once I get into a rhythm, then I check back in with myself. Like, what do I want to do? And how do I recharge? Or check back in with my friends. Like, okay, thank you for weathering this season with me. Because my friends never gave up. And my two closest friends here were single for a very long time, just got into really steady relationships recently. And so it was difficult. We had to have difficult conversations. Like, I can't be who I used to be right now, but I don't love you any different. And I want you to know that, like, right now I have a tiny little baby that needs more of me than, this other part of my life. But give me grace. Give me a second. I'm readjusting. My entire life has changed. And you got to have those conversations, not just with spouses or partners, but also with friends that you love and care about, with family that you love and care about. Those are relationships that need the same kind of attention and, again, grace. And so many times in my life, I didn't seek balance. It wasn't important for me to have balance. I wanted to be 100% a wife or 100% a mother. And then I was in school. I was in law school and working full time. And it was COVID. I was teaching my kids at school, and my husband was working outside the home. It was crazy. It was chaotic. But again, it was a season in my life where I could only give attention to whatever I was working on at that second.
Right.
And so I think now we're again in a better groove. And I think what helps with balance is that my husband respects that I nurture all the relationships in my life. And he encourages me to go to that workout class or go to that brunch or go to that networking event or take the kids here, or we do family every Friday night. I don't do anything on Friday nights other than family movie night. It's rare if I'm not here on that couch with my kids and my husband for family movie night. We make it a point to have family date days, or sometimes it's mommy daughter day, mommy son day, or daddy daughter day. Sometimes I just chill with my mom, my grandfather. Like, I just try to fill those buckets. And anytime I feel like a bucket's getting a little low, I'm like, okay, I want to pour into this bucket. But I think there's just a mutual understanding there that if I get to do all of that, then I'm a better person.
Right. So I love it.
Happy to live with me when I'm happy.
So how do you deal with like disagreements or any type of challenges? What advice can you give on that, in that perspective? Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah. I'm the worst with.
Wait a minute, Vanessa.
So bad. I'm so bad. You really got to be with your yin and your yang. So there are definitely times where I'm like a shutdown, silent treatment. And I only get to that point when I feel like I've been communicating, and he's not hearing me right. And so sometimes I will shut down. But he is someone who doesn't allow that for too long. Like, he's like, okay, cool, you need that minute. But he'll always, oh, there he is now. Like check back in, or, just not let it linger. And so
I love
that person, if you have somebody who is just as stubborn as you are, then y'all both like, okay, I can wait you out. And so you just never get over that hump per se. But I think we've used various tools. We've definitely gone to therapy, and that's been really helpful. Individual therapy and therapy together has been beneficial when there are really tough sticking points. But my friends say this all the time, and I have to explain to them, at this juncture, there really isn't a lot to argue about because we've been together so long. And so sometimes it's like, just like, I got mad the other day because I'm the one that does all the grocery shopping. I love it. It's cathartic to me. There are things that I think that he does that I don't even touch. Like, I don't touch the car. That ain't my ministry. I don't take garbage out. I don't, like, there's things that I just don't do. And we have some, I guess, gender roles, but for the most part, we just pick up where the other one has stopped. Like, whatever. It's not like a 50-50. It's just ebbs and flows. But I had gone grocery shopping for dinner, and I had everything at the house. But on his way home, he stopped and got an ingredient that he thought we didn't have.
Okay.
And that was like, I think he thought that he was like being proactive. And he texted me headed home, but he didn't say, I'm going to stop and get this one thing. And so he walks in the house with it. And it's so stupid, but I'm like, I already bought that. That's a waste of money. And it was like lettuce or something we would actually still use. And it was just like, this is stupid. Like, okay, yeah, he could have said, I'm just like, I do the grocery shop. I'm always on top of it. And he was like, yeah, I just thought, I knew we didn't need it. I saw, because I have a board with, everything that we're going to eat for the week and our calendar.
Come on, organization.
You got to be organized. And, and when I reflect on it, it really was a kind thought. He looked in the refrigerator, noticed we didn't have the lettuce for our chicken Caesar salad, and was like, I'm just going to pick that up. But yeah, something so innocuous that I just, in the moment, was like, why didn't you just tell me? Or stupid. Right. But yeah, this ain't a lot.
Right. Well, you do all the cooking, right?
No, God, no.
No.
Okay. He cooks. It depends. I think over the last 2 weeks, he's probably cooked more than I have, or like this month, I say he's probably cooked more than I have. But it's so bad. I feel like I should probably cook a little bit more, but because I work from home and it's so easy, I'm just like, I'm here. Right. But he just started this new job, and so we're still adjusting a little bit, but he'll come home and cook, but I'm doing all the menu prep and buying all the groceries. And so I feel like it's a good trade-off. Or like, he cleans the kitchen. I can't tell you the last time I cleaned the kitchen, but I like doing laundry, so I'll handle that.
I love
Yeah,
it.
there's never a tally. It's never like, well, I cooked dinner 3 days in a row. When are you going? It's never that.
Love
Um,
that.
but he does always cook on the weekend, like breakfast on the weekends. That's him. I don't really do breakfast.
And we touched on everything. I love it. I love it, honey. You are just telling the people what they need to hear. So, as far as like finances, I think I said this before you came on. My dad used to give his check to my mom. And
Mm.
I know a lot of times that's not what's going on now. So I'm just interested. How do you guys deal with finances? Do y'all do it all like accounts together? Do y'all do separate accounts? Do you have a household account? What works for your household?
Yeah, I would not recommend this for everybody. Let me put that disclaimer out there. But
Okay.
for us, it's one bank account. It's just one bank account. Everything goes into that bank account. The only time, sometimes we'll like just pull out money if we're buying gifts or something like that. But it's just one pot. It's just easy. And again, there's not a tally of, oh, you make this much, you make this much, you put this in. And I'm better with numbers. So I balance the books, but all the money is in one pot. It just makes it easier.
Right. No, and I've talked to a few couples that they said that it works for them. So it, like you said, it just depends on that household.
Yeah.
But yes, girl, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much. I've answered every girl. You didn't hit on every point that the girls need to know out here, child, because they
I
try.
do have one other thing, if I can say this really quickly. This is advice that I do give that I have not followed myself.
Okay.
But I do suggest, especially women that are getting married in their 30s, 40s, and older, I would suggest a prenup. And only because, not like, oh, I'm thinking about when it's all over and I don't want to go into my marriage like that. Now that I've gone through law school, I just see it as more of a protection for yourself. You should never go into a prenup thinking about, oh, he's trying to keep something from me. No,
Okay.
protect yourself, baby girl. You have assets. That house that your grandparents want to pass down to you, that fund that you don't even know about that your parents want to gift you, all these different things that you just need your own protection. And so I don't think of it as a negative anymore. Like when
Right.
we got married, we weren't thinking prenup. We didn't, neither one of us really had anything. So we weren't thinking that. But as I talk to my friends now who are, in their well into their careers and have assets in multiple different ways, I think it's just smart to protect yourself and think about not keeping something from someone, but let's do a family plan. I would think of a prenup as a family plan.
Got it.
What does the future look like? Whether we're together or apart, how are we going to protect our kids? How do we move forward? What does this look like? And so I think there should be healthier conversations around prenuptial agreements.
Wow, I love it. Thank you, we girl. Thank you for being just so transparent because we hear all of that. And I thank you so much. You are awesome. Girl. You know I love you to death, honey.
I love you, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Pearlie. I wish you all the best.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Clock In with Lynn. I hope you guys had great takeaways from these lovely ladies talking about healthy marriages. Sorry. I know I did. So just stick with me, y'all. Just stick with me. I have more to come. Like I say, next week, I will be talking to the men. And trust me, you do not want to miss it, honey. Ooh, ooh. They coming. So yes. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. I need to see what this cough is about. Ooh, child. But thank you guys. Thank you so much. Oh, and I do have on Lolo's collection. Let me see. Let me pull the hair back so y'all can see. And in my little jacket, child. Yes, from Lolo's Collections, Marlo Carter. I think I tagged her in the, I think I tagged her somewhere. I tagged her somewhere. But yes, go to my page. You will see Marlo Carter, Lolo's Collections. Girl, she be getting me together, girl, for the show, child. Honey, we got little pieces. Girl, gotta look good now. All right. So good night and happy pre-weekend, people. And have a good night. Bye. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.